Savage Dragon number 30 from August of 1996. So this issue is a crossover with Todd McFarlane's Spawn. And in the last issue, the Fiend murdered the dragon in the hopes of sending him to hell, literally. And it appears to have worked. But before we can look at issue 30, Spawn number 52 is in it's chronologically first. So let's check this one out. Great cover by Greg Capullo and Todd McFarlane. Dragon looks like a psycho, just a naked dragon man ripping demons apart. It's pretty dope. So McFarlane writes and inks this one with pencils by Capullo. And, I was reading Spawn in the early 90s, all through the McFarlane's initial run and throughout most of the early Capullo era. And at first, I really didn't like his art, but I quickly came around. I think he's a great artist. I think it was just like I didn't like the change. So, also in memory of Mark Grunwald, who passed away the month that this book was published, August of 1996, at the age of 43. So way too early. What a bummer. Speaking of a bummer, look at all this fucking text you're supposed to read here and here. No thanks, Todd. Not going to waste my time. Let's get to the good stuff. This is a nice double-page spread. Looks familiar, like that cliff. Could be like the same one on the cover of Follow the Leader, that Korn album that Todd did the cover for. Looks kind of similar to me. Anyway, Spawn is in one of these levels of hell. And these green demons, they say that he's the second visitor that they've encountered. And that they've basically been like worshiping the dragon as their like violent messiah. And, kudos to Greg Capullo for making the dragon look so badass here. Look at his forearms are like larger than his waist. That's pretty crazy. I love it. So anyway, of course they have a battle. Dragon and Spawn go at it. And then Spawn kind of, I guess he wins. Like one panel, it's kind of vague. It looks like he finishes him up there, but he beats up the dragon. This is Spawn's book, so I guess he's got to, who's going to win this one. Anyway, so, Dragon ends up strung up like a roasted pig on a stick by these little green guys. And then he's put like in a open air weird little prison cell, and he tells Spawn, that this is all a dream, a nightmare, a hallucination, whatever, and he'll wake up soon. And anyway, I think Spawn tries to free the dragon, but now they both end up like crucified by these little dudes, and it's kind of a weird comic. Then they just vanish like in a blink. And that's where issue 30 starts. They just disappear off of these crosses. It's like, all right, take it over from there. Let's see, but let's look at the rest of this comic anyway. We never get to look at Spawn here. So Image Info, the Spawn film has been cast. Michael J. White, John Leguizamo, and it will shoot for the next 4 months, just in time for a 1997 release. And what else did they say here? Yeah, the Spawn Bible is hitting shelves, as well as Curse of Spawn. That's another new series they're starting. And, it's crazy to see, like, the expansion of Spawn at a time when, the comic industry is kind of deflating, and he's adding titles. So, and the Spawn softball team won a trophy. So the rich get richer. And McFarlane Toys is also expanding here with this Total Chaos line of toys. And then, the books I mentioned a second ago, The Curse of Spawn and the Spawn Bible. Also an ad for these chromium cards, the Spawn chromium cards. Got an ad for the White Zombie, super sexy swinging sounds. So that's like a remix version of the original Astro Creep album. It's kind of a weird concept. Forgot about that thing, but anyway, on to our regularly scheduled program. And And speaking of regularity, can't forget that stool pusher, Josh Eckhorn. Christ, the less I say about that, the better. This is onto the story. So we've seen this before. Exterior police station. The dragon is missing. But of course that we know that he's in hell. Apparently he's just like falling. Confusing transition from the Spawn comic, but whatever. So, and now Spawn recognizes the dragon from the TV. And but the dragon still believes that he's dreaming or something. So meanwhile, Rapture is visiting her doctor, who is concerned about the danger of carrying a superpowered baby, saying it could kick a hole right through her belly. And the doctor recommends an abortion, but she refuses this idea and says that she's going to go through with it to prove to Dragon that this is his child. And meanwhile, Spawn and Dragon are hanging out in hell when Antonio Seghetti, the old mob boss, the overlord, he's he was killed by the dragon, and he's writhing. He's among the writhing mass of damned souls down here. And now Dragon gets to kick his ass all over again. So he's having a great time. And, this pisses the Fiend off. So she's watching hell through this magic pool of blood. And, she didn't send the dragon to hell so he could, make friends and crack jokes. She wants him to suffer. So she'll have to do it herself, she says. Then we cut to Officer Niceman, who is he's in trouble for using excessive force, and his own partner Chris Robinson has cooperated with the investigation. So suspend your disbelief there. Anyway, he wants his fellow officer Phil Dirt to be a character witness, but Phil one-ups Howard and tells him, "Hey man, I've got AIDS and I'm going to die unless you help me get a blood transfusion using the dragon's blood." And this is all in hopes that the dragon's healing ability will cure his AIDS. So we'll see how that goes. It's a bold move, Cotton. And there's a comedy routine here developing with Spawn as the super serious, dramatic straight man, and Dragon just joke cracking wise ass basically. And he's just kind of bored. He seems to enjoy annoying Spawn while he waits for this dream to end. So then we got a pinup from the Dart miniseries. Hosev, I'm not even going to try that last name. But I like this miniseries. It was pretty fun. It's like a 3-issue miniseries. And he's got a unique style. It's almost like ElfQuest meets Aeon Flux. Now we got an ad for Turtles 4. And, man, Eric Larson's Spawn face. It's pretty good. It's kind of slightly off. That gory texture, it isn't like Eric Larson's strong suit, but he's a much stronger, storyteller than McFarlane, especially, layouts and dialogue. So, anyway, the Fiend shows up, and they're in trouble, man. So back on Earth here, firefighter Dale shows up just to break up with Alex. He says that he's found someone new, and so he's moving on. And she blows him off. She thought this was over months ago. So back to hell. The Fiend wants Dragon and Spawn to fight, with the winner being awarded a ticket out of this story, and the loser stuck for eternity in hell. Dragon throws the fight so that Spawn can win. He doesn't believe that any of this is real. So anyway, Spawn is disappeared out of the book. And so the Fiend tries to fight the dragon again, but apparently the heat of hell has invigorated the dragon, and he seems more powerful than ever down here. And the Fiend gets desperate and finds a kindred spirit in Antonio Seghetti again. Now the Overlord has a demon power and spikes, so maybe he can kick the dragon's ass. But on to the letters page. Eric mentions that this book was also available on the newsstand as Spawn / Savage Dragon #1. I did not know that even existed, but apparently it's out there. And we got the usual Q&A. Fan art is back, especially, let's see. Yeah, this guy here, this Stephen Hagehow. He's in Germany, and he'd go on to produce a comic called the Kommissar Fraulich. So, Larson also mentions that there's a Hellboy appearance in the works, which will happen sooner than later. Nothing else too noteworthy. There is this this bonus page. It's kind of a character bio for the dragon, and this continues for a few issues at least. And we got an ad for Gary Carlson's Big Bang Comics, issue #4. Some ads for more toys, and that's about it, man. Next up, God versus the Devil, issue 31.